Tuscany is probably one of the most fantasized about holiday destinations in the world. The sunburnt hills, the tall cypresses, the hearty food. But it's also one of Italy's wine capitals, with a number of top wines built on just one grape, the chameleon Sangiovese. Unlike some prima donna grapes that need to be coddled or they simply won't sing, Sangiovese produces everything from your basic Chianti in a straw-covered bottle to some of the top Chianti Classicos and Brunellos. In all its forms, Sangiovese never produces a big, dark wine. It always reminds me of dried cherries and dried herbs, with a texture that wine people describe as dusty. I like to imagine the dusty countryside in areas where Sangiovese is normally grown, and then the description makes a bit more sense. Chianti Classico is the original wine-growing area within the larger Chianti zone. Producers inside the zone generally make more ambitious wines than those outside. This means that they're more concentrated, i.e. they have more flavor, and have more of substances like tannins, the substances that make wine feel grippy in the mouth, that help them age for longer. Brunello is the most famous area in Tuscany for top-quality traditional wines. The wines here are almost all grown on a hill surrounding the charming hill town of Montalcino. The wines from here are generally riper and rounder than Chianti Classico, with less acidity, or the substance that gives it sourness, and more of a silky texture. Finally, there are some less traditional regions of Tuscany that became famous for producing a new, modern breed of wine called Super Tuscans. Originally, because the winemakers weren't using traditional grape varieties but international ones, the Italian authorities didn't know how to handle these rebels and forced them to sell the wine as table wines, or the lowest category of wine in Italy. When it became clear that it was ridiculous that some of the most expensive wines in the country were being labeled table wines, the authorities developed a new category called IGT to accommodate them. These days, Super Tuscans are still made from what we call international varieties, like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah or Shiraz as it's called in Australia, and even some use the most classic Tuscan ingredient, Sangiovese. These days, some of the wines are even 100% Sangiovese. So Tuscany, Sangiovese, 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 and a few international grapes for making Super Tuscans. Get stuck in there.